Now on to the next framework, which is called reverse prompting. And this one's really interesting because we're gonna learn how to use ChatGPT to reverse engineer any piece of content that you can find online. So if you had a speech from one of your favorite writers or authors, you could use this prompt framework, put in their speech, reverse engineer it to get the exact prompt you would need to recreate that speech. If you're a company that sells online products and you want to emulate another company that's maybe your competitor that is doing a better job at making more sales because their descriptions and titles are more effective, you can paste that in, reverse engineer their prompts or reverse engineer their copy and learn exactly what prompt to use to recreate that text. So let's get into it. These two frameworks offer an incredible insight into how to effectively reverse engineer any piece of content. As a result, you can have almost endless possibilities for enhancing personal and professional projects. So there are two different prompt formula options. One is 2 steps and the second is multiple steps. I've honestly found that step 2, or option 2 rather, is more effective at generating more detailed reverse prompts. It's a little bit hard, as you'll find, to get ChatGPT to really do this super effectively. So the 4-step process I found takes a little bit more time, but it is a little bit more effective. But regardless, let's go through both of these formulas. So prompt number 1, you are a prompt engineering expert that is able to reverse engineer prompts based on the text that is provided to you. I'm going to provide a specific type of content, and I want you to be as specific as possible on providing a prompting suggestion based on the tone, style, syntax, language, and any other factors you consider relevant. I'd like you to use this prompt in the future to replicate the style of the provided text. Your prompt is effective only if, when entered into ChatGPT in normal context, it would provide the script. Please reply if understood, if that makes sense, and if it doesn't make sense, do not reply and further ask questions to clarify your understanding. So let's set this up. Let's go ahead and type in that our content is going to be for a tech company product description. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and hit enter. ChatGPT says, great, understood. Please provide the tech company product description. So we're gonna grab that from our example. And we have some copy from the Apple website on their Apple AirPods. So their copy is wireless, effortless, magical, with plenty of talk and listen time, voice activated Siri access, and an available wireless charging case. AirPods deliver an incredible wireless headphone experience. So if you were another company that sold headphones or audio equipment or whatever it is, and you saw that your competition, someone like Apple, is very effective and highly successful, you can go ahead and take something like their product description and put it in and reverse engineer how to easily and repeatedly recreate their prompts. Here's the output that ChatGPT gave us. It took our description and it wrote, write a product description for a wireless headphone product that delivers a magical and effortless listening experience. Highlight the features of the product, the long battery life, the activated digital assistant, and most importantly, use language that emphasizes the seamless, user-friendly experience that this product provides. So what this allows you to do is rewrite very, very similar product descriptions for your own products. So that's a pretty good output, but what I want to do now is go to our second version of this prompt formula to get a more, in my experience, more in-depth output. So if you remember us talking about chunking down larger tasks towards the beginning of this chapter, this is an example of something like that. Getting ChatGPT to do reverse prompting is a little bit difficult because if you play around with this functionality in this framework, you're gonna find that it's gonna wanna just put out new prompts and it's gonna rewrite what you try to input into it. So to get it to really do this is a little bit difficult. For option 1, you can get it to do it. It might take some regenerating of the answer, but for option 2, I get way better results. So let's look at this. There's 4 steps here. First step, let's talk about reverse prompt engineering. By reverse prompt engineering, I mean creating a prompt from a given text. You're going to put that in, and then you're going to say, can you give me an example of prompt engineering? ChatGPT is going to pop out an example, and then great. Can you create a very technical reverse prompt engineering template? Now reverse prompt engineer the following text now that you've primed the model to understand exactly what it is and what it should do. Reverse engineer the following text and be sure to capture the tone, syntax, language, and writing style of the text for the prompt that you come up with. So now let's go back to ChatGPT and put in this 4-step process. So let's start this priming process before we get to our actual prompt. So step 1, we pasted that in here. ChatGPT gave us a response about reverse prompting. And then we're gonna say, okay, great. Can you give me a specific example about reverse prompting? And then it says, okay, a given text could be the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And a potential reverse prompt for this could be write a story about a quick brown fox and a lazy dog. Putting in this input would ideally give you the output that you want. Now let's go to the next step, which is great. Now create a very technical reverse prompt engineering template. Now we have a technical template on reverse prompt engineering. So all of this chat history is priming ChatGPT for a ideal and more specific output. We're gonna go to our next step, which is now reverse prompt engineer the following text. Be sure to capture the tone, syntax, language, and writing style of the prompt you come up with. And what I wanna do is grab one of our example texts. So again, let's say that for your product or business, you want to emulate another company's success. And let's say this is an incredibly high selling item. There's 220,000 reviews on Amazon with 4.7 out of 5 stars. They're obviously killing it with this product. They have their copy on point. We could reverse prompt engineer the headline for our own product. We could reverse prompt engineer the description so that we could create similar descriptions very easily for our own product as well. So let's go ahead and grab the headline and we'll reverse engineer it. So I have the headline, I'm gonna paste it into our prompt formula. So now reverse engineer the following. Here, let's put this in quotes and be sure to capture the tone, style, and syntax. So we have our input text about the best-selling Amazon product, and then we have the reverse prompt. Create a review or description of the product that highlights its outstanding 4K streaming quality, convenient TV and smart home controls, and access to free and live TV channels. So what you would do is put in your own product and it would recreate a very accurate and similar description, but for what you're selling. So this is a really interesting framework to use because you're essentially flipping what normally happens. Normally you give a prompt to ChatGPT and it gives you an output. But what you're doing is you're giving the output to ChatGPT and asking what that input was to create the output in the first place. So use this prompting framework to get out there and recreate your favorite pieces of content.